Okay, I was telling you guys I was getting the 18-inch apes taken off. And I told the guy, you know what? Surprise me with the bars. He surprised the shit out of me, alright. He made my bike look like the damn thing from the Terminator. I gotta admit, though, it does ride pretty good. But, yeah, it looks like that bike from the Terminator.
What's up, everyone? Yeah, got the bike back, and boy, like I said, I was surprised as hell with this thing. But I gotta admit, it looks pretty damn good. They did a great job. Real proud of the mechanic, man. He took real good care of me. It rides like a dream, unlike the damn ape hangers, man. Oh my god, I had the 18s on there, plus the risers. Look at that, 20 freaking inches or something like that. It was killing me. It was killing me. So, yeah, a little bit older. Yeah, you know what? When I was younger, it was a lot easier with the apes. That's all I used to use. But now, hell no. No. Anyway, how are you guys doing? We got a great show for you today. Hey, all my haters out there calling me this and calling me that. You know what? The other side of the argument can never be presented because people get too butthurt. Sad state of affairs in this country right now. You get butthurt because of opinions. You know, I had one schluck. He was on the YouTube platform saying, you're this, you're that, you're butthurt because this guy he was talking about the guy that lost his license from Harley-Davidson. I guess, you know, people who have disagreeing views are not supposed to say anything. That's the country nowadays, man. But, you know, me, I do not care. I do not care if I hurt your feelings. It just don't matter to me. You don't matter to me. If you do not want to debate and instead you want to throw that card around, you're not even worth the time. Just unsubscribe from the platforms if you don't like what you're hearing and go bye-bye. Go play with some of your tree hugger friends and let them get you off. Because I'm not here to get you off, buddy. I'm not here to take showers to the wee hours in the morning and try to stroke your ego and try to make you feel good about yourself. This is the real world. Life does not give you anything. Life is actually a bear, man. It's a bear. It owes you nothing. I don't owe you nothing. You make your own way in this life. And it's a real hard world. And it's a multicultural world. Yes, you know, humans have been on Earth, over 200,000, 300,000, 400,000 years. And we're still tribal. So what's your point? Your cancel culture or your woke crap ain't gonna work over here. It ain't gonna change my mind, any of that stuff. You see that little flag that's on the right hand of the screen if you're over on YouTube or Facebook? Don't tread on me. I believe that 100%. You know, it's funny. You got these people that are going around, I'm anti-this, I'm anti-fascist. They are the fascists. They don't see what they're doing. That's how freaking ignorant they are. Tearing down history monuments, tearing down this. And the people that actually care about this country, care about its history, I heard they defaced some of the World War II monument. Are you kidding me? If it wasn't for that generation in that war, you'd had real fascism all over this country right now. You'd be speaking Deutsch right now. That's the problem with people. You know what? The schools, they don't teach these people basic civics. They don't, you know what? They don't teach them the basics of the Constitution and how it came around. And I'm sorry, I'm going off on a tangent right now, but when you see them kind of remarks, it burns my ass. It does. You know, schlucks, if you're going to come out and act stupid, at least have a damn argument. When they pull out that card, they never have an argument. Trust me. That's their argument every damn time. And, I guess being my age and stuff like that, you can't teach old dogs new tricks. I believe in tradition. I believe in history. I believe there's always more than one side of the story. Do I believe what happened to that guy with that Harley-Davidson dealer, Polaris, and all them pulling their stuff, Mercury outboards? No, I don't. What I believe is he has a right to say what he wants, and if his customer base don't like it, well, that's capitalism right there. It's not up to Harley-Davidson or Indian or freaking Mercury to say what a dealership can and cannot do. Harley-Davidson, what was it? Couple years went out after him because he said, you're going after the Confederate flag, but here you were all them years making money off of it. And I'm sure the older guys out there, they have a lot of patches with Harley-Davidson and the Confederate flag. They got a lot of T-shirts. But I guess since, they're going towards the higher income earners, that they got to get woke. Well, where's your company at right now? And it's funny, I do got a story coming up where it talks about how robust the two-wheel industry is, motorcycles and stuff like that. But guess who's not on it? Yeah, Harley-Davidson. Your business is in shambles. Yes, I know you got a lot of people that are real loyal to you guys. Me, love my fat boy. But I'll never, ever, ever, ever again buy another Harley-Davidson. You know why? Because I know you don't care about me. I know you don't care about our, section of the lifestyle. I already know it. So why am I going to support you? Because you go around and you freaking put this crap in people's head. Hey, you have to have a Harley-Davidson if you're going to be a biker. Yeah, man, get out of here with that. Truth be known, my Boulevard ride's a lot nicer than the Harley the Fat Boy does. It's more comfortable. It's less shaky. And there's a lot of bikes out there that put Harley-Davidsons to shame. It's just in the early days of your company, you were able to convince everybody, hey, Harley was the best. Well, your history don't prove that. Let's talk about Harley-Davidson's history. The 70s were horrible for you people. The 80s, you needed Ronald Reagan to put a 40% tariff on all other manufacturers of bikes because you couldn't hold up. The only really good years you guys had was during the chopper craze, man. Yeah, when you had Paul Tuttle, as I call him, or Fuddle or Fiddler, he's a schluck. Or you had the Biker Build-Off series where you got all these people watching these shows, and next thing you know, your showroom was off to the running. But that ended in 2014 when your freaking sales started to take a down spike. But you have normal bikers, you have scooter tramps walking into your dealerships, and they put their nose down on people? Yeah, you really need to get a business model. Because there's a lot of people that are just fed up with your company. You're better off never buying a new bike from Harley-Davidson again. Go on the used market. You know why? And especially now, because all these rubs, what they do is they'll put this big money down. And next thing you know, they'll put a few thousand miles on it, get bored of it, put it on the used market, so you basically got a brand new bike for nothing. That's what I suggest people start doing. Because it is totally freaking ridiculous now with this woke culture. But for that moron, and you are a moron, to say, well, you're just this and that. I won't even give you the pleasure of saying what you said. I won't do it because you're a schluck. You're a leftist nobody. And you know what? I used to be really cool about that until you start throwing that card around. When you start throwing that card around, I know a lot of other people won't push back because they're scared of being called that. Just bring it on. Bring it on. You know why?
I'm gonna get medieval on your asses.
You're damn right I'm gonna. And I'll push back. Because what's going on in this country, what's going on with these motorcycle companies is it's downright ridiculous. And it's time to push back. But let's go on to our biker news. Everybody knows, I know that monologue was kind of long and stuff, 10 minutes, whatever. It's what's showing on the ticker and stuff. But, it just had to be said. It just had to be said, man. Enough's enough. Okay, here's the article I was talking to you guys about earlier, and this is from Cycle World. I really like CycleWorld.com. Me, I'm really into the tech stuff. I'm really into looking at what new models are out. And you know what? I do apologize. I should be putting more of this stuff in the show. I'm always covering everything else, so I got to really start focusing on this. Again, CycleWorld.com. Despite economic downturn, power sports sales have been surprisingly robust. By Andrew Kearney. Let's go. The streets are quiet, supply chains have disintegrated, unemployment is at record highs, especially in them states where the blue crew is, because, we're just starting to open up in Illinois, and then they wonder why unemployment's the way it is. It's basically in them states. The equity markets are schizophrenic in the best of weeks, so it would stand to reason that all economic indicators and consumer spending in particular would be down for the year as well. A major contraction would certainly not be unexpected. Well, that's true for the most part, but actually, and perhaps counterintuitively, motorcycle sales are up. Can you believe that? Motorcycle sales are up. Now, I believe personally the reason why that is because during this lockdown, getting on a bike was the best thing to do, man. You got your social distancing and all that kind of stuff. But you got out there. You were out in the air. You were out in the wind. You were out in the sun. So, yeah, I can see why motorcycle sales were up, kind of. You heard that right. Across the board, retail sales for the last 3 months have shown a steady uptick, except Harley-Davidson. You do know that they got dropped from the S&P. Their second quarter, sales were in the dumpster. So everybody else is doing good, just not you, Harley-Davidson. It's more obvious in certain segments, but the trend is undeniable. Year-to-date power sports sales are better than they've been in years. Can you say pandemic paradox? Well, there's a lot of reasons for this stuff, but again, the ones, like the African Twin, man, by Honda, they're coming out with bikes that people like. The off-road stuff is really becoming in. We used to call them enduros back in the day. But there's some really good bikes. I suggest go over and look at Adam Sandoval's program where he's doing the trail. Now, that seems fun. I want to do that. Following a series of declining years, though, 2020's data was already looking fairly optimistic. Motorcycle sales in February of 2020 were up 3.5%. Again, not you, Harley-Davidson. Maybe you should go blacklist some more dealerships. According to motorcyclesdata.com, but when the pandemic hit in early March and the auto industry began its sales freefall, most business insiders assumed the same fate would befall the motorcycle sector. Now, like I said, being locked, that's all I was doing was riding and fishing during this whole thing. That's it. I wanted to be outdoors. The schluck of our governor, who closes state parks to camping and stuff? They don't make sense, these people. Anyway, so I got off on the bike and went on the boat. That's what I did. Besides bringing the news to you guys. The surprising news came in early June when the smoke cleared in the Motorcycle Industry Council. If you're really into that type of stuff like me, the Motorcycle Industry Council is really good to see the barometer of how things are going. Reported that year-to-date retail power sports sales were better than they've been in the past 3 years. So the point that I'm arguing, yeah, you had to go buy a bike to get the hell out of the thing, so that helps them. The power sports industry is a much more positive place than we thought we'd be earlier this year when the full impact of the pandemic began to come into focus, MIC President and CEO Eric Pritchard said. Of course, power sports includes ATVs, which I think Polaris is going to blow it out of the water, and Honda, side-by-sides and motorcycles, but in fact, and here it is here. This is big, and this is going to tell you where the trends are going. And you know what? Harley-Davidson decided not to go this route, because they're going to, focus on the CBO lines. Off-highway motorcycle sales were up. Listen to this. 18.9% year-to-date through March 20th. According to the MIC's retail sales reporting system, which gathers new motorcycle retail sales data from the 14 leading manufacturers and distributors in the U.S., in sum, sales were relatively strong from January through April. That's when all that stuff went down. And May was a great month for most. Again, you want to go and take a look at this information because a lot of people are saying, hey, motorcycle companies are in trouble when it's maybe one or two. And you figure with all the history that, what am I asking? Harley-Davidson's not going to learn from their damn history. That's what I was going to say. Learn from your history to know where you're going. If the freaking African twins out there selling the off-road, man, maybe you think you come off with your own off-road bike. I believe that they put that off. And again, the new CEO of freaking Harley-Davidson is saying, well, we got to concentrate on the high end. Yeah, good luck with that, you schlucks. Anyway, let's go to the next story. A Unity ride, and this again is from Biker Dad. I like featuring his articles on because it's always positive with this guy. Quote, United We Roll brings together bikers and badges. Let's take a listen, shall we?
As bikers and members of the Thin Blue Line meet behind Mobile Police headquarters for the first Unity ride.
As we, as a community, fellowship with one another, sit down at the table, break bread, have conversations, we realize that we have more in common than we don't.
With recent protests in Mobile, the chief says everyone from police officers to the mayor and public safety director have tried to meet with people in the last month and move the community forward.
Just sitting down and just having real relationship has allowed us to kind of, as we deal with the crisis of the protest, find some common ground that we can work from to try to make things better in our community.
The Unity Ride, a joint effort between Mobile's Police Department, WKRG News 5 Biker Dad Chris Bast, and Mobile Bay Harley-Davidson.
We don't care what your color is or whatever anything is. We just care about riding.
They hope to also send a positive message with
Chris Bast is Biker Dad.
Mobile.
Celebrate the things that unite us rather than to dwell on the things that divide us.
They have a lot more in common, starting with two wheels and the road.
Rock on. That is from Chris Best, Biker Dad. Good piece right there, man. Personally, you know what? I can't bring myself to do something like that. But, a lot of other people do. And, hey, rock on. Oh, let's go to an apprentice here. Mr. Wizard's back, guys. I know you just cannot wait for his idiotic stuff. I actually did an op-ed on these guys. And boy, as soon as I did that, they're back at it again. They actually did one on, the Iron Horseman or something like that the other day. I just ain't going to cover every one of theirs. But here is the point to these hotcars.com articles. I do it to put them in their place because they really need to be put in their place with some of this. 10 reasons why outlaw MCs prefer to ride only Harley Davidsons, which hopefully one of these days is going to change. They need to. Ever wondered why the biker gangs, hey, here we go with the hot cars, lawful or outlaws, almost always ride a Harley? I don't know. Because that's the way tradition's been. It's more than just because they're great bikes. Well, we can agree to disagree on there. There's something about Harley-Davidson, isn't it? The characteristic thump, those bad boy riders. Yes, that's what I was talking about. Harley-Davidson, you made your money on the bad boy image. Now all of a sudden, hey, it's not politically correct, so screw you guys. And just the air and mystique of the open road that freewheelers love to go on that make Harley dreams, or Harley's a dream for many, not me. Let's see here. Number 10, the reason, now these are the reason why. Army surplus Harley-Davidsons were cheap. One thing that I wish is, somebody in my family, had a barn find, just had one of these untouched after, the war and stuff. You know how much money them things would be worth right now? Number 9, all-American rides only for the veterans. That makes no damn sense. Most of the founding members of various outlaw MCs who didn't begin their life as outlaws but simply refused to follow the dictates of the AMA were war-weathered veterans. Then he goes into all the veteran stuff. We all heard that. Japan was the enemy, so were Japanese bikes. And that's one thing that's starting to go away now, as the older guys from that era are getting out of the lifestyle. Japanese bikes used to be that way, but not the younger generation don't consider that. And, two wheels are two wheels. That's what I believe. 7. Japanese motorcycles killed off almost all competition. Well, they did. It's just like a Honda Accord, man. Them things go for 500,000 freaking miles. There's actually pride put in there, and I'm not saying Americans don't do that, but, Ford, GM, freaking Chrysler. Now, Chrysler, I'll never touch a Chrysler. Their transmissions suck. I'm just going to be point blank. They suck. I'll never touch a Chrysler. Now, Ford and GM, well, I drive a Chevy, but I do like the F-150s and all that. Ford has some badass trucks, not to mention the Ford Mustang and stuff. But they, when they want to make it good, they make it good, but they got to get up there with reliability of these Japanese ones, man, because Japanese make it the last. Let's see here. Most MCs are cruiser only, thus HDs. They're way out of line on this one. You got a lot of clubs out there on sport bikes right now. You got a lot of clubs, except the 1%ers and stuff, but you got a lot of clubs that have mixed bikes. You got two wheels and a specific CC, and you're in. Once enough Harleys were bought, it became tradition. Well, I can't agree a little bit on that. That rumbling sound of a Harley was an added attraction. Yeah, they sound great and stuff, and my right ear's gone because of it. But I don't think it's all because of that. Harleys are tough and durable. Man, and low maintenance. Are you freaking crazy? Yeah, right. The Harley-Davidson dealership network is one of the best unless, you put your opinion out there of what you think's going on, and they'll just pull it from you. And Harley-Davidson also changed its marketing director. While all these points automatically fell into Harley-Davidson's lap, and they were only too happy to count in all the cash that came with them, they got that right. Harley also changed its marketing tactics from being a company that wooed the youth with its safe cruiser models that were not the widowmakers the sports bikes were often painted to be. Harley-Davidson began to market to the rub, the rich urban biker, often a middle-aged man who was a part of a motorcycle club and kept his youth alive through the rides. And Outlaw MC Brotherhood was only too happy to be the face of HD, and accordingly took to the Harley like a fly of honey. Yeah, you can say that was a mistake. Now, let's go to Corey Graff's Wall of Shame. We're going overseas to the UK. Yes, we don't discriminate. We know there's bad cops everywhere. 2 Met police officers arrested over a photo of murdered sisters. And this is an exclusive, inappropriate image of pair, and they were killed in London, was allegedly sent to a group of people. 2 Metropolitan police officers have been arrested after a photograph was allegedly taken of the bodies of murdered sisters in London Park. So, that's a shame right there. The Guardian has learned Nicole Smallman, 27, and Bibba Henry, 46, were found stabbed to death in the Fremont County Park in northwest London. They were the daughters of a pioneering cleric, Mina Smallman, the Church of England's first female archdeacon from a black and minority background. The sisters were reported missing. Okay. My God. A criminal inquiry is underway in the conduct of two officers over claims that an inappropriate photograph was taken at the motor scene and allegedly sent to a group of people that included members of the public. The allegations were reported to Met's Directorate of Professional Standards, which were referred to them Independent Office for Police Conduct. The investigation will consider whether any criminal charges should be brought or any disciplinary. The two Metropolitan Police Constables were arrested by IOPC investigators. Sale Neeson, the IOPC director, said these are sickening allegations. When we were made aware by the Metropolitan Police, we acted quickly to arrest the officers involved. Okay, let's see who's the officers here. It don't say. Well, you know who we'll put in the wall of shame is the Metropolitan Police Department. Let's just put them all together. Because that's how they do to bikers, man. You know, couple bad apples, you get in trouble, then the whole club's responsible. So we're going to put them all in there. How's that? I think we solved that. Before I begin, don't forget to visit us over on Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Music, YouTube, and more. Go over there, subscribe to us, share us on your profile picture. Or, you know, your profile, you know, whatever you want to do. But that helps out the show. We really appreciate that stuff. I know I went on with a long monologue and stuff like that. Let's just recap some of the stuff that we've learned today. All the companies out there are basically up except Harley-Davidson, because I did look at their their numbers and stuff for the quarter, and they just doing terrible, and they wonder why, because they're getting woke. And there's a good saying out there: if you get woke, you go broke. You know, there's actually companies right now that are refusing to do advertising on social media platforms, on TV, because, you know, they're in a bind either way. You know, they do something and then all of a sudden they're getting boycotted and stuff. Not a good way to go, man. Not a good way to go. A lot of sad state of affairs going on in this country right now. What I say is to you, stand up. Don't cower to nobody. Stand up for your beliefs. If you believe the one side, go with that side. If you believe your other side, go with that side. But the biggest thing you can do is not give in, especially when they throw them cards around, man. You know what? Give them the finger and send it right back at them. You know, because if you have a viewpoint, they consider it that. You know what? They're not even worth debating, because they're freaking ignorant. And there's a lot of ignorant people nowadays that you gotta, you know, try to scrape through all the BS with them. And they're not worth your time, you know. You get in a 20-minute argument with them, and that's 20 minutes you'll never get back, because they're morons. That's what I can say. But what happened to that Tennessee dealer down there, that is unreal. And that's one of the main reasons why bikers are tired of, you know, I did a lot of busting on HD today. It's because, you know what, after doing something like that, knowing full well that's what that company made its money on in the early days, was that image. And now to turn around and say, you know, you can't have it because, you know, we don't believe in what you're saying and stuff. I will 100% bash Harley-Davidson anytime I get a chance, because they are hypocrites. The biggest hypocrites around, and hypocrites with a shoe salesman at the top, at the CEO. One that says, hey, we got to shift our business focus to the higher earners. Well, what they're doing there is, everybody knows, yeah, you only got a few segment of the population that gets into it, and one that, you know, gets tired of their bikes after a few years and gets them onto the used market, selling them for cheaper, thus killing newer sales. Harley-Davidson's just killing itself, man. You know, it used to be where Harley-Davidsons used to hold their value. They ain't holding their value anymore. Man, you can pick up bikes left and right for next to nothing now. It's not only the downturn. Harley-Davidson's name ain't carrying weight anymore. And they just keep twisting around like the freaking Tasmanian devil because they got no damn direction whatsoever. And I know you Harley freaks are going to be all over me on this. Well, this and that and this and that. Oh, man, give me a break, man. Yeah, you love your Harley, so do I. And, you know, you're going to have people say, well, I love my Harley, but I don't like the company. Keep saying that as they screw you every time you go for a new freaking bike. That has to say something about you, too, don't it? Yeah, I know Indian's about the same price as a Harley, but at least Indian's taking care of you, and it's backed up by a company that's actually running profits, that actually care about their customers, that actually diversify to make sure their company is going to be around. You know, that's just my 2 point, my way of thinking and stuff. What do you guys think, man? You know, I got the equipment up and running better now. I actually, you know what is doing it and why it looks so better and sounds better is because I put a 1 terabyte freaking SSD hard drive on this computer, and boy, is she riding lightning, baby. Anyway, you guys make sure you're having a good weekend and stuff. Again, don't forget to share us, and I appreciate everything, man.
I said goodbye.
See you later.
Vamoose, adios, ciao, so long. Get your hat jacked.
Now available on Spotify and all major platforms, including iHeartRadio, iTunes, Stitcher, and more. Don't forget to become a subscriber on any one of these platforms so you can be notified right away when our weekly episode is uploaded so you never miss an episode.
Hi, this is James Hollywood Machikari. Join our YouTube channel and get Motorcycle Madhouse and tons of videos related to the bikers. Join now by subscribing for free and become part of the Throttle today. Always free and always entertaining. Don't forget to visit us at www.harleyliberty.com for your daily biker news. Rock on!